My name's Sarah.
But I reached over 1,000 subscribers.
Hi guys, it's Voldemort.
Oh my god!
Best book you've read so far in 2020.
What does this say about you and your need for therapy?
And instead, I just had to hear a lot about double penetration.
Hey besties, it's Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are celebrating 8 years of me being on booktube. On April 23rd, 2015, I uploaded my first booktube video. If you ever want to feel better about yourself, or if you make content and you want to know if there's hope for you, you can go back and watch that first video because it is quite frightening, the energy I was putting forth.
Yeah. Oh.
I thought it would be really fun to celebrate 8 years of being on booktube with a tag that I found a while ago called the booktube anniversary tag. I haven't done a tag in forever. I know tags aren't like super popular anymore, but I just thought that we could go through all the questions together and just reminisce on all of my past content, and it'll just be a fun time. Before we get into the tag questions, I do want to say thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to me over the years. I am so grateful for you. You guys are the reason that I make content. I love posting videos. My favorite part of posting a video is the comment section and interacting with people who like my content, and it has been really heartwarming to see a lot of your comments. Some of you had told me that I'm your comfort creator. Some people tell me that I'm really funny. A lot of compliments come through and I really appreciate that. I honestly feel like when I started booktube, my self-esteem wasn't that high, and I think through creating content and just interacting with a lot of people, I've been able to grow exponentially as a person, and I just love you guys so much. You guys are my besties, you know that. So let's just get into the tag. Okay, question number 1 is, how have you changed from your first video to now? So to set the scene, when I made my first video, I was exceptionally lonely. If you haven't seen it, I posted a video in October going over a cult experience that I had for most of my life, probably age, I want to say 13 to about 23 when I started booktube. Like 2015 was when I left. I was in a very controlling Christian church that I would consider a cult. I started booktube at a time when I had just left this controlling group, and I was really lonely, and books were my only real sense of comfort at this time. And so I started looking up YouTube videos about books because I had been reading Cassandra Clare's Infernal Devices series, and I wanted to see if other people had read it. And through searching through that, I found an opportunity to stumble upon this community, and I just wanted to make my own content. I've always loved YouTube. Like, YouTube came out in, I want to say 2006, when I was mid high school, and I just always dreamt of being a YouTuber. And so when I saw this avenue where I could talk about books but also be a YouTuber, I was like, sign me up for that. Now that we've set the scene, the ways in which I feel like I've changed, I feel like I am so much more self-possessed. I know who I am. Also, in general, my personality has changed because when I joined, I was 23 and now I'm 31. As you can imagine, 23-year-old Sarah was very different. I feel like I tried really hard to match the energy of other booktubers that I was watching, and it took me a long time to kind of come into my own. And it's kind of funny because even if you watch a video from 2018, which wasn't as long ago, I still feel like I am very different. Every year I've been on booktube, I feel like I change, and I like myself the best now. I feel like 31-year-old Sarah is kind of where it's at, and I'm kind of thriving in my 30s. I'm loving it, and I've been loving the content that I've been putting out. Question number 2 is, what video are you most proud of and why? Okay, I looked back on my channel, and I'd have to say the videos that I'm most proud of are my lookbooks. I don't remember what year it was. I feel like it was like 2017 or 2018. I made these sort of lookbooks, which back in the day on YouTube, I don't know if people still make these. They were like people showing fashion outfits. Obviously outfits are fashion, whatever. People showing off their outfits with like music, and it was very like cinematic. And so I did one for Night Film, and then I also did one for The Merciless, which was a sponsored video with Penguin, and I honestly am really proud of them. The first one I filmed with my roommates at the time, Megan and Katie, who have been in a lot of my drug literacies, and then the second one, my boyfriend at the time worked in film. Well, I guess he probably still works in film. I have not talked to him in many years, but I was dating a guy who was really into film, and he was a cinematographer, and so he filmed it for me in this abandoned house, and it was super cool. I will insert clips for you guys now because I'm really proud of these videos, and I kind of wish I could make another one of these, but they are a lot of work, so I don't know if I actually will, but they were kind of a slay. Like, really proud of that. Very creative content.
Open the door to heaven or
think that all of my drunk literacies are very fun. If you want to watch me being drunk and talking about various book related things, I will link that playlist down below if you want to watch it, but that is also a very fun time.
Except for, yes, stop it!
So much on me. Like, so much.
I can't hold myself up.
Another fucking ugly picture.
Question number 3 is, what's your most popular video? My most popular video, I believe, has over 170,000 views. And it is reading the worst books on Goodreads. I actually did a second edition of this a couple of weeks ago if you want to go and watch that. I felt like it was time for a sequel because it'd been like 5 years since I posted the last one. But that one just was really popular for some reason. To this day, it gets a lot of views. I don't know, people really resonated with that one and people really enjoyed it. And it got me a lot of subscribers back in the day. So if you do want to watch that, I'll link it down below. And then you should also watch the one that I did recently. That one's not quite as popular. I don't think that one's going to get over 100,000 views, but people are still liking that one too. So you should watch that, besties. Question number 4 is, what was an unexpected surprise of being on YouTube? When I joined BookTube, like I said, I was very lonely. It was a very vulnerable time in my life. So I was looking to make friends, but I didn't expect to make such good friends. Like, I feel like I have a lot of friends from YouTube that are actually IRL friends that I hang out with and go on vacation with. I have visited numerous of my BookTube friends in person, and I feel really connected with all of them because at this point I've been friends with most of them since 2015. So we've been friends for 8 years now, which is like almost a decade, which is crazy. So these are people like Monica, Emma, Riley, Elias, like those are people that I can think of off the top of my head, but I just love these people so dearly. They truly are some of my closest friends. Like if I get married someday, they will be invited to my wedding. I love my BookTube friends. They're so great and I love making new ones too. BookTube is just a great source of making friends. Question number 5 is, what's the hardest thing about creating videos for YouTube? The number one answer for this would absolutely have to be time, because BookTube not only requires you to make videos, but it also requires you to read books. So you have to be reading, and also right now what's really popular on YouTube is concepts and experiments and reading vlogs. So you have a lot of like set TBRs, and so you all have to fit this into a timeline of when you're going to upload these videos. And then on top of that, this is not my full-time job at all. I don't really make money from YouTube at all. Like if you see a random sponsored video, that's probably the most money that I'm making, and even that is like not a living wage. I work full-time at a tech company as a senior product designer. Basically what that is I design apps. I don't talk about my job a ton on YouTube because I don't know if you guys would care, but I am thinking about doing a video soon where I use my day job skills to redesign Goodreads, because that's right up my alley. I hate going on apps and having them be designed poorly. I'd also like to do one for Storygraph, because Storygraph is a really cool concept, but I literally cannot use it because the user experience is insufferable. Like it's so bad. I've tried so hard to use it, but it basically looks like Blogspot, and it's not cute, it's not good, and I really want to support Storygraph, but unfortunately I gotta stay with Daddy Bezos on Goodreads because Goodreads has slightly better UI UX, which is saying something because Goodreads is really bad, but I think I might redesign it soon. Also, I want to add one other secondary thing that I would say is really hard about YouTube is not getting caught up in numbers. It's really easy to compare to the other booktubers around you on how their channels are doing. I feel like my channel is very modest at this point, but when I was in the height of being popular, like back in like 2018, I feel like I was getting a lot more views on my channel. So when I returned last year, it wasn't really the same energy, and so I had a hard time not being discouraged because I do put so much effort and energy into my videos. It can just make you get really down when you feel like people aren't watching or consuming your content, because like I said, I don't really get paid monetarily. So when I would put so much energy and effort into a video and then it wouldn't really perform the way that I was expecting, it was really hard for me last year. I feel like I in December had a come to Jesus moment where I sobbed to my boyfriend about how sad I was about how my content was doing, and then I just decided this year that I was going to not focus on the numbers and just put out content that I was excited about, and I feel like that's been going really well for me. So if you are a content creator, that is my advice to you. It is okay to have moments where you get down on yourself about your engagement, but you just have to take a moment, take a deep breath, and just move on, because at the end of the day, if even 10 people watch your video, that's a lot. Like imagine if you were walking down the street and 20 people came up to you and told you that they liked what you were doing or how you were talking or just engaged with you in some way. You would be like, whoa, I'm super popular. So I think sometimes you have to take a moment and realize that the internet makes it seem like we need to have a lot more views and subscribers and whatever. We can still be grateful for what we have every step of the way. that is my inspirational speech for the day. Question number 6 is thoughts on equipment. What has been the most useful piece of equipment you've bought? My first 2 videos I actually filmed on my phone. You can totally film on your iPhone if you want. Like, I was doing this in like 2015 when iPhones weren't even as nice as they are now. And those videos honestly didn't look that bad. I did eventually switch over to a DSLR, which I actually no longer use. I used my DSLR for years, but it's very clunky and it's very big. And so the biggest and best investment that I've ever made on my channel is buying the Canon G7X, which is a point and shoot like vlogging camera. It is amazing. It is so lightweight. I love carrying it around. It is so much easier for me to stay consistent on YouTube by having this. But I will say, if you do not have access to like $500, because these are very expensive. It might even have been $600. I don't really remember. It was very expensive. You can use your iPhone. If you've ever seen any of Katie Colson's videos, she actually does use her iPhone. So I feel like if you want to start a YouTube channel with your phone, you can totally do it. It's very doable. I did it. I just happened to eventually upgrade to a real camera, and here we are. Question number 7 is, have you had to deal with negative feedback or comments? How did you handle it? I actually have dealt with a lot of hate comments in the past. I feel like because I've had a few videos go pretty viral. I had the reading the worst books on Goodreads one, where people love to tell me that I don't understand satire because I was talking about a Chuck Palahniuk book in that. It was just absolutely abhorrent. It was so bad. And then also I had a video where I reviewed Cutie Pie Martia's debut novel. I don't remember what Martia's last name is, but I know she is now married to PewDiePie. She wasn't at the time. I think this was in like 2017 that I posted this. And that one also, I think, has almost 100,000 views. I don't super remember, but people hated that I gave it a negative review. They were very mean to me about my appearance on that video. More often than not, the hate comments that I get are people just not agreeing with my book taste. People can be quite touchy when you say you don't like something that they like. It's kind of a thing on the internet. And so yeah, I will say now the hate comments are fewer and farther between, but they really annoy me when they happen. And so actually the way that I deal with it, this probably isn't great, is I am in my clapback era. I love to respond very sassily to other people. Like whenever people leave the comment where they say that I can't review a book because I'm not an author, like I don't know what it takes to put the work into writing a book, so therefore I cannot critique it. I love to then respond and say, if you're not a YouTuber, then you can't critique my video. I just love being sassy, and I will always respond to hate comments, and I don't know if that's good or bad. That's honestly probably a toxic trait. And the final question is, what advice would you give to someone thinking of starting YouTube? My answer to this is to just do it. At this point, booktube and YouTube in general is super saturated, oversaturated if you will. And so if you have the passion to make content and you really want to engage with people and talk about books or do whatever you want to do on YouTube, you just kind of have to do it. There's honestly never going to be a right time to make a channel. It really more so has to do with your life and how much time you have, because I will say I feel like YouTube is probably at least 20 hours of work every week, and that's not even necessarily including all the reading I have to do. I actually haven't posted a video in 2 weeks because I've been really stressed about my day job, and so you just kind of have to pick a time in your life where you feel like you'll have the time to commit to it. But other than that, I would just say do it. Like just make videos. Get out your phone, get out your camera, get out whatever you have, and start making content. But that brings us to the end of this video, besties. I hope you enjoyed this tag and this little walk down memory lane. Let me know down below in the comments how long that you've been subscribed to me. If you are a subscriber, I feel like you wouldn't be watching this video unless you were a subscriber, but if you're not a subscriber, I guess you could subscribe. If you made it to the end and you've enjoyed watching this, feel free to use the diamond emoji down below. I just thought of it because of the blue on my shirt, and also you guys are diamonds to me. My besties are just so precious. Precious gems. Are diamonds gems? Hey Google, is a diamond a gem?
A gem is simply a hard substance which has been cut and polished. A diamond is a gem.
Thank you all so much for watching. You're all beautiful. Have a nice day. I also have had that outro since 2015, and I'll never stop saying it because you guys are very beautiful to me.